which of them have you fulfilled? But trust Nigerians. Once they shout, at the end of the day, everybody will move on. People will still buy new vehicles. People will still build new houses. I'm sure the Lagos State the Lagos State government would release the figures of how much this one has gone up. We will be here in January and February. It's an amazing time. I'm excited. My name is M쏘ɪᴜ Fᴏᴜᴜ, and if you're joining us for the very first time, we say you're welcome. It's Midweek Politics. We run this conversation. Join or beyond the news items that you get to listen to or watch on TV, to the details, bring out every single one of them to allow you to enjoy the conversation, and also join us when we open the phone lines. But of course, today is the 24th day of December 2025. It's the eve of Christmas. But of course, people always talk about longevity, and I've always questioned. If you read the Bible and you remember the story of Methuselah, he lived for 940 something years and he died. That was almost about the only thing that the Bible recorded about him. Almost 1,000 years. Of course, there's Jesus Christ that didn't even live like 10% of that. And almost the managing director. When I was opportune to come up on board here, that was in 2022. I had a conversation with him. After I came up on board, properly made clear to me, and I didn't need to think twice before keying into 8.3 FM. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Dᴏɪᴜ. Into this space, you know what intentions are. Non-political, non-parochial, no interest, no sentiment, just bringing the details. It's an amazing time, and it's giving me good joy to celebrate you for all of the impact you've made beyond mainland FM, even your other investments, your high. If more than anything else, the fact that you can take it to the bank, that on so the big does, there's always a reward system for everything good you do. There's always time in front of your name because it's a season of celebration. You're just here maybe after work, and then somebody just opens the door, and if you don't know him, you probably just in a very short period of time that we've come into operation as a station. In terms of the logistics, accessible, always available. And even when you don't seem physical,
it's important to, celebrate our MD CEO, who a lot of our radio is not behind the microphone. But if there's any success now, it's been the driving force. Because again, you explained part of the vision, which is to say, look, it's not just to own a radio station. We said, look, I don't just want to be like every other radio station owner. Yeah, maybe for the business part of it, but I want to make an impact. I see the need for people to be able to get people, the realities of the people, issues of governance, a station that can, in a non-partisan way. And that's why we have all been running with that vision. It's been our guiding principle here. I think it's just been an amazing person. He stands out because, again, from him I've learned resilience, from him I've learned commitment. So I see him saying it to me that, what, this is a project that I know God and my MD finds a way to celebrate him. We always celebrate his life. He's just someone that is very quiet around people. And you know what, Okwemi, it is not the amount of noise that you make. He used to getting people on board to begin to run businesses that have also employed us behind mainland 98.3. The hospitality business. He's got a lot of investments that have touched lives of the people.
It's good desk of mainland FM and the extended family as well. I would say happy to move with the vision, because someone actually conceived the vision that this establishment is for the people.
For these people.
And we've always provided that platform. So I have a cousin.
Celebration. So Yorubas would naturally say, well, even if you're born, even on New Year.
His wife and child are in the US. So when they gave birth to the child, his wife, he used to argue. He said, July 6th in the mobile, like I give birth to her. The wife said no.
Celebrating Christmas already.
Yeah.
If you look at the time zone, and
while we're still on the 31st of January of December,
yes.
some countries are already
on the 4th.
into the new year. On the 1st of January, which is going to be very robust conversation around the roots of the conversation. Maybe insecurity, kidnaps, and PDP would not be at the front burner. From the beginning, he talked about the fact that bigger, like a PDP that started 2025 with 12 governors, are left with only 4 states, and the governor of Adamawa State, Fintiri. Those are the only pillars of the party left. Is off. Or Lero still gather all the boys. Maybe he's waiting for the journalists that
on channels.
He will do Christmas Day broadcast.
We might have him to slide by without giving a response to the allegations that have been raised.
Certainly be at that top level. But we play some of those soundbites who have said that go and ask your governors. Be giving local government chairmen their allocation. That he's already asking questions, and he has said that Nigerians need to stop blaming Federation revenue. The governor, a member of the APC, and the chairman of the Northwest Governors Forum made the disclosure year receives the largest share of funds from the government chairman. But when revenue is being shared, 52% goes to the federal government. It is the remaining 48% that is to meet growing demands. Despite widespread assumptions about revenue allocation, and the governor of Katsina said Nigerians need to start examining how funds is being retained at the center. He's saying, I'm doing my best to get enough money, obviously from taxing the people, and I'm giving enough to the governors to do so much. Now we have governors side forward that are giving their 100 billion. In fact, one of the Southeast states for the first time submitted a budget proposal of over 1 trillion. And that's the first time any Southeast are now earning almost 50%, 60% more than they announced on the 29th of Plateau State had an eye on as IGR. I think that was before COVID, maybe the year before COVID. Now look at those states. Look at state like Jigawa. Look at state like Zamfara. That the 36 state governors are sharing only 48% of the allocation. The federal government, I've been, alive enough feeling, speaking to the driver, and it was like, that this year, the enemy, another person. So Nigerians are, probably because you don't know, governors are saying 48. Some of you were owing $1 billion, but the governors are still saying it's not enough. Is there a missing? The tax regime that is coming up in 2020 to drive the kind of tax we want to drive in January, some battle line could be drawn next year in respect to the tax conversation right now, or you think it is valid that the governors are asking for more?
And I'll tell you why we have to look at the numbers, and then look. He is part of the governors forum, what is called the progressive, for helping to raise more money. This meeting was held recently in Abuja, or declared
their support for the second term agenda of
he has done more
than
for
anybody.
The governor. What then comes to the mind is that look, they make very about the situation of the country. If you look at the report, said he had said about the achievement of their party and the president, but once in a while, the way they really feel,
they let it out.
They just let it out. It slips out. Sometimes let's look at this again. There's been this consistent performance from the president. They are now making more money. The president said it, and the president too has not been those monies. You can't continue to ask me this question. I've done what I need to do. But let's go. A very simple thing here that we're talking about. But will be a FAC allocation under Buhari has got more weight and value than the almost 2 trillion we shared today.
Shared now.
Anybody, if you want 3 years ago, what you were, so what it meant is that look, the 1,000 of 3 years ago, it's FAC allocation they were getting 3 years. Don't be surprised that if you do a proper analysis of value and just trying to look at the figures and being a bit more methodical about some of these things, 8 billion of today cannot do it. If you look at real value of money. So the question we need to ask ourselves, can we safely say, truly say that the governors are making more money? Making more money in figures, but what about real value? So that's one question we need to ask ourselves. The other one is this, The reality is that whatever Nigerians are going through at this time is supposed to be the collective responsibility of everyone in government. Federal, state, they ask the federal government, why are things not improved for the people? After you remove subsidy, after you raise the tariff for electricity, after so many taxes.
You say you're giving governors more money.
I've always said it. It does not just make sense to be giving more money to the governors. That was not what we elected him for. Again, my own question to some of the politicians who have had conversations with me is to say, when you know the corruption index, the value system within governance, he was two-term governor, is held down with what we have, with the flawed electoral system that does not necessarily bring the best of us to rule the rest of us. Even if you give them expect you people, you produce these guys, you know them. By now, I'm expecting that the thing should trickle down. Again, sounding very political. But I'm still going to come there to the issue of the local government. But if you look at what Governor Rada is saying, let's even check the figures. How is FAC allocation shared? 52 points. That means the larger chunk of what is made
is retained at the national.
Is retained at the federal level, at the national level. Only 52% is taken by the federal government. 26.72% is what you share across all the states. And then the remaining 20 local government.
Because the local government are under a state.
So they just hijack it too. So we can now safely say that about 46.8%
goes to the governors.
Because again, it stays at the state level. So let us ask ourselves, who should we really blame? Just working with these figures.
Federal government is getting more.
So if you are going to blame, I'm going to share the blame. I have said it here that if we're going to talk about, you don't going to about the federal government. Governor Rada here was more money. What he's just saying is that, look, you people every time keep saying, no, you are getting more money. Do you have the federal government, for example, pulling his weight with the resources that we are in a situation which are not doing enough? More still needs to be done at all levels. And I would think that, look, instead of them looking for who to blame, and that's why what he has really done. Because if you look at it in real value, it's not as if they're even making money enough. But we know we don't have them. Unless we want to tell ourselves we are just lying to ourselves. We just want to be delusional. Look, until we get to the point where we can, there are people to the corner to have real conversations.
They tell you
now who came in empty, quote and unquote, now own estates, own hotel, these politics. Things, and you know the sad part of, it's just like when we're having conversation on Sunday, and see from the altar of corruption. It's funny to see politicians who are in power today calling for integrity from what is clear. We see them in our communities. We are not too young to know how some of the. It's just like when Governor Mgsmåɪᴜ, I'm sure we're going to get there. Don't let me. We talk to people who are in government, some of the civil servants who walk around. That goes on in terms of stealing in government.
That seems to have even been.
Say, look, the reason why nothing gets done is these things that you people are talking about. How the procurement process is flawed with. It's actually very frustrating. If we're going to be talking about the things with us, about the profligacy, about the. And
I know that we're not going anywhere.
Look, I was shocked when recently I had a conversation. And I was shocked to the point where I had to share the information with Barrister Curtis. Once we continue to hold this, you are so optimistic. So you think things can. So are you saying
we are doing campaigns?
And these are people in and telling you, we're hoping that, look, we're not going to be, we are not going to get tired of those pertinent questions as to whether what Governor Rada has said is true or not attained at the federal level. Then you can know where to put the blame.
So
looking at the figures and the fact that things would have been a lot better, but
very clear that every member of the political class are all and one. Whether local government, whether state government, whether federal government, everybody understand each other. They know where. Let us review the sharing formula. Let's make it 60-40. Since the state governors have bigger responsibilities, the biggest problem we've had in this countryside is an absolute justifiable. The government is getting more at the federal level. Then the subnationals are under pressure. Let us change it. Let's be different.
No, nothing will be different. Nothing will be different. No, and I'll tell you why. Nothing will be different. Again, let us even look at states that are producing oil. And one would expect that with that kind of advantage, there should be some, good level of performance out of the oil producing states. You can say a whole lot about the reality of Ondo State in terms of
very unlucky people. Delta.
No, in Ondo State, Akure. Akure.
Yes, there's just one.
Just one.
Then the one I carry, they are really lucky.
If you look at Delta State, I've spoken with people from Delta State.
So far, I was in Asaba last year. I was
an oil producing state. So again, we should continue to hold the federal government accountable, hold the state governments accountable, hold the local governments accountable. When people ask critical questions, that's diversionary. Oh, how well have you performed? Go and ask your governor. You can't discuss like that with me now. Say what you have done. You don't tell me to go and ask my governor. That's why you have that level. Federal, state, it's supposed to be a synergy. But if we were to even switch it around to say, okay, let more money now go, for sure, beat our chest to say that, look, the electoral system is giving us the best of us to rule the rest of us.
That's a question that has a living answer.
Okay, kind of people we produce at that level. And he said, try local government.
He's your secretary.
Directly because he didn't want to make the guy feel bad. The local government chairman.
I'm not ashamed of this place.
You come here every day. Okay, I remember one of our callers, I think the guy is from Benue State. He said in his local government, if he's listening to us, that is stopping you. There's even no security at the entrance.
Where did you serve?
I served in a local government called Donga in 2006. Back then. And I remember that local government chairman will only come. The information we had, we at that
they tell him allocation is
at that time. Donga, there was no to have secretariat, and you see everybody coming in on that. So a few times that I've gone into the local government, I look at the whole place and I'm like, what exactly is even going on here?
Of functionality.
If you step out, because a lot of us in Lagos have not really gone out to see what the kinds of people, the thinking pattern. What do we have? It's at the best
that's available
to govern those states. In reality, we've done a lot of evaluations. We've seen the way some of them even push their positions out. We've seen the one that even have hype men following him around. What we are saying is that, and that's why we're saying that, look, politics. And I say, look, what you are playing is dirty politics. My psychologist, I think, put it out recently. What are we saying? People is what speaks for you and gives you the votes of the people, the mandate of the people. Not that because you have a godfather somewhere, not that because whether you are good or not, once you can get on in New York. Can it happen here? Because again, you have to go through what I call a gated democratic system. Somebody must hold your hand to go, and democracy will run. It's not structured to give any dividends of democracy unless it's, maybe 10 kilometers of road has been done. So when people like that come up with arguments and begin to say all manner of things, I just shake my head, because if you have seen, what you call real dividends of democracy,
you will understand that we're joking here.
We are just joking. So you see.
Sorry to cut aside for some years back, I went to Benue during the APC, and it's Otukpa. Otukpa is after Otukpa, and then they went to commission the project, and it was like a foreign invest. The government had no say in it. In fact, the project was successful. There was nothing like somebody stole one money. The government was ready. The fact that they would do these boreholes, they would do. So the leader of the team, a white person, does not know how to do psychophancy, picked up the mic after the governor had spoken and also explained to the people that this is so and so and so and so. Do you know that was the day they placed a ban on that project, the usage of that partition? They stolen almost everything. Almost in a project that's supposed to help a community to secure water, a farming community. The government abandoned it because the governor couldn't take credit for it. The governor of Rivers State is going to be having a press address on Monday in Port Harcourt. We saw that coming. Absolutely. Yeah. It was a big one. I like the fact that we're going to focus on it today.
Yeah.
But let me play you the soundbite of President. It is the midweek politics. And then we're looking at the statement of the governor of Katsina State, Governor Rada, where he talked about the fact that the people should stop putting pressure on their state governors
alone.
That they should always the federal government more than the state government and the local government. So he's saying that, you know what? If the government at the federal level is directing their failure to us, we're also sending it back to them. Take a listen to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What would open for it? That's the interview that was granted yesterday by the PDP governor of Oyo State. He talked about the fact that he was there when the FCT minister now willingly offered to hold down the PDP for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. That is some strange allegations, by the way. He also talked about the fact that he regretted working for the president in 2023, and they asked him, would you be Tinubu telling us to, you know what, stop pressuring the federal government as your state and local government leaders.
It's easy to bring normalcy and redecorate. It's more difficult.
The general elections in 2023 have created conversations and consequences that will live with us for years to come. From the executive to the judiciary, legislature, media, and the people, organized labor, and civil society organizations, issues that will continue.
And let me tell you, I've told the PDP in some locations that, gentlemen, be careful. Better men have founded parties that have gone into oblivion. Where's the party of Awolowo? Where's the party of Azikwe? Where's PRP of Rimi? Political parties must be nurtured, they must be reinvented, they must be true to their own
Ōpeyemi Akinyode and Said Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday 1 to 3 p.m. on Mainland 98.3 FM for thought-provoking conversations, voices from the top, engaging interviews, in-depth analysis on all matters around politics, policies and governance. Midweek Politics on Mainland 98.3 FM, bringing the right perspectives to every
In charge here today, but you are running a constitutional democracy, and we are put to you to summon the country and be sympathetic to the populace, and they must consider the need of the local people. People reside in the local government. People are in the local community. That is where they reside. That is where they feed. That is where they garden. That is where they cook. That's where they farm. We have 774 local government. It's just a number. Is it effective? Is it reaching the real people? Who is it? We move to Abuja. It's easy to bring
and their state governors saying that, you know what, we're making, and I'm giving you those monies to go back and make their lives better.
We're making more money with less value.
Exactly, that's the question. And the governor of presidents and the local government chairman and the state governments, a very defining year, so defining such that almost all of the political conversation ahead of the 2027 will be done in 2026. The indication of interest, the primaries, the campaigns, the rallies, the decampings, the challenge ahead of the 2027 election. So the bulk of the job, the bulk of the politicking, big shout out to my friend Dr. Dawakar, as we'd always call it, will be done in 2026. So what's on the rise they've given in this December? But let's talk about a governor. They said when he took over the fractional leadership award, PDP has only 4 governors. In 2003, the PDP had 30 governors and the FCT with an absolute control of both the national assemblies. But the question everyone is asking is this: how valid are the claims shown with some selected journalists at their Agodi house, our government house in Ibadan yesterday, Wike? And then they asked him, would you run for the president in 2020 of Oyo State?
We are enough to support you. However, let me say this. If you've selected the Minister of Power, I told the President. He said, no, Sheyi, it's you that I want to help me organize APC in Oyo State. I said, no, sir, I can never help you organize APC in Oyo State because I am of the PDP. So, if we have a government of national unity, a government of national competence, we will have been in a very different environment right now. And let me just mention again this issue of Wike. This.
Your friend.
Huh?
Your friend Wike.
My friend Wike. Okay. So this was the exact first contract that Mobile gave to Macron. I was 29. It was $1 million. Within that 1 year, Wike perhaps at that time just left. He just left law school, and then his next job after that was local government chairman. And the trajectory was, I don't beef anybody. But the real issue is that I was in a meeting with the president and Wike. The president's chief of staff was also in that meeting, and a few others. And Wike said to the president that, well, sir, I will hold PDP for you, against 2027. I was in shock. So we got up, we got to the veranda. I said, Wike, and I will not talk about people or talk about events, but I'll talk about the real issue. The real issue is that Wike would like to support also some of us that want to, ensure that democracy survives in Nigeria. We don't drift into a one-party state, and we want to, and it's just the issue between me and Wike. And I confided in a mutual friend of ours after that meeting. And I kept thinking, okay, the president did not ask him, do this for me. He was the one that volunteered that I will do that. So when I was telling our mutual friend, I said, look, maybe he was talking about an errand that the president never sent him. So let's watch, let's engage him. Let's see if he will back off. But he never did. So after he didn't back off, I said, well, now it's time to confront him. Because I told him from that day that I will never be a part of this. And that is why I will not be supporting the president for 2027. Wike can support him, he's within his right, but also it is within my own right to decide within the political space who I will support or what I will do in 2027.
For 2027 presidency. Let me make this very clear. To serve this country at the highest level, I am qualified. He was governor of Lagos State. 2 terms. By the end of May 2027, by God's grace, God sparing my life, I will have been to the end of the tenure as a 2-term governor of Oyo State. So what are we talking? Professionally, I run a company from a very...
Side forward. They always say that when two brothers go into a room and they smile out, there's a possibility that they've not told each other the truth. Election in 2023, on the basis of the fact that the party was producing both the presidential candidate and the national chairman of and Seyi Makinde and the governor of Abia State, 5 of them, and Abia have gotten ambassadorial appointments. Wike is to finish his 2nd term as the governor of Oyo State. Autumn is just somewhere. He was of that. But 2 sound bites. The first one talked about how the G5 president in 2027. Now, if you look at the manifestation of that commitment in 2000 to the APC, only one, which is Osun, have gone to the Accord Party. What do you make of this side of the conversation? Like we said, The FCT minister is going to be addressing the press on Monday. I'm sure it's because of Christmas. One that gets to talk a lot. He seems to just get his things done and just keep his states functioning and all of 2027 election, 2023 election. Seyi Makinde did not support the PDP's president. That belongs to the same political party did not receive him. Neither did he attend that campaign rally. It looks like things are no longer the way they used to be. Side forward. What do you make of this? We can say of the fact that I've had enough. I need to also say my own.
We knew that a day like this will come. For those who have been following events as it concerns, Seyi Makinde did with that interview yesterday, media party yesterday, was to just help to affirm some of the speculations in the minds of Nigerians. You know, again, you have a Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State, who continues to, his actions have been directed towards achieving one thing. Seyi Makinde said he promised the president to hold the party down for him to win 2027. But it's, for me, what Wike has done so far,
he doesn't even need 2027.
It's not even about holding the party down. He's killing the party. If you know, if you hold somebody down, you know, hold down means maybe you have a dog.
From 12 to 4.
I'll just hold it down. But what he has done, if you look, you know, what you do, for me, appears to be the reality than what you even say. And so the actions of Wike have been because of at his level, someone who before he was a defeat, an incumbent, it shows that he must have been, he's a politically brilliant, you know, issues of somehow he's been able to hold the party together. He's brilliant as that. One would expect that, look, going into a political alliance, there would have been full disclosure of the PDP in pre-2023. And while he was also waiting and hoping that the Atiku people evidence to show that, look, at some point he thought that the VP ticket was good. Atiku for what the PDP is going through now, when he has left the party for them. So like the Yorubas will say, in fact, remember that, did Atiku even campaign in Oyo State?
He did. But Seyi Makinde did not.
It was just like he forced himself to even go. I think it was in Rivers that he decided not to go. So you ask yourself, at the point of when Nyesom Wike and stop the ambition of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to become president, was there a conversation as to, okay, when we succeed at what we are doing now, what then is next for everyone? Atiku must not win. You see, you can now see that all the things about equity, fairness, and justice
was nothing.
Was nothing really. It was about what their personal interests.
Absolutely.
And we have said it here. If you are still one of the people believing politicians when they talk about equity, fairness, talk about, in reality they don't even believe in it. There's nothing equity in their dictionary. In reality, it is only when they want to push a poem that this Nyesom Wike, what is the need for him? Outgoing governors. I'm the only one
that is running for second term.
That will be running my second term. So as they are as they are leaving, what are they going to eventually benefit? Because they were not also doing it for nothing.
Nothing.
You understand what I'm saying? That, okay, if I eventually join this G5 and what would I also get from being a part of the G5? Number two, did he have a conversation? This is 2023. After 2023, 4 years time, there will be election in 2027. What will be our position? These pertinent questions. Then he has himself to blame, and you can't. He made a grave mistake. That's the word. They'll say, let's just work for the interest of the party first.
What is happening in Sudan?
Yes.
Two people came together and now fought a president,
and now they are fighting themselves.
Now agree now.
So at the point when they did the G5, they thought they had.
Minister,
now all of them are getting their compensation.
But you are still here. What next after you leave office?
So now we ask again. I've always said this thing, Okoyemi. The interest of Wike is what, Okoyemi? Can you define the political interest of Nyesom Wike at this time?
He's probably just want to hold on to power.
Minister. In fact, he runs the FCT like a state.
Yes,
he has his own budget. So he's gotten a solid deal for himself. Again, whether you want to be political naive, that's your problem. The reality is that, look, he would not have been able to defeat Fubara if not for the federal support that he got, the backing of state. Nobody holds down the political structure of a state for nothing. It is still about the resources.
He is the soul of the state.
So when you see a politician say they want to take my structure, the structure is for nothing.
They want to block your meal
And
tickets.
even Fᴜʟᴜ told us, say this politically, with the resources, to a great extent, intact for him. Whatever he wants, he's getting in the state. Now, the third one, political future.
Because if you agitated in 2002, in
2023,
2022, build up to the 2023 election,
yes,
that they should zone it for the president.
For the president. So that means if it was for the president, in 2027, he will still get these deals, right? He may be retained as minister of the FC in control of the political.
Wike is the biggest winner in the G5.
So he's the biggest winner.
He is the biggest winner.
Because others have now gotten a mega
ambassador. Just sit in one place.
Now, political ambition that is not in alignment with that of UK, and you can see how they're falling apart. Because the thing now is this: look at what he said. Again, let's pay attention to the details of everything Seyi Makinde said. He talked about the fact that, look, he had told the president, when even the president himself will respond to what Seyi Makinde has said. Because those things he said are big in the political space. He said, look, he told the president, well, I don't want to even use him.
You are the one I want.
So, so the thing is, that idea of the if it is true, the weight of ᴜᴜ
that is plus or minus zero.
Number one. Number two, if it is true that the president had told Seyi Makinde to help him come to the APC,
and your man, Senator Teslim, is one of the big players in Oyo APC.
Maybe all of them in the eyes of the president are not equal to the task. So you wanted the governor. So maybe you wanted the governor because you know that governors have got what it takes to control. So that's number two. Then Seyi Makinde says no. He said, I'm not interested. He
said they had to ensure that democracy survives and to make sure that we don't drift into a one-party state, and to also make sure that
if you wanted democracy to survive,
you will bury whatever.
If you wanted multi-party democracy to survive, thoughtful in the alliance he went to in 2023, because what he did basically was to kill the PDP.
He just sold the party for cheap.
So that's on that. So again, we'll see whether the president will react. My mind tells me that, look, there could be elements of truth in that, because again, somehow Seyi Makinde has been able to hold Oyo State solid for himself politically. How he's been able to do it, I don't know, but somehow he's been able to do it. The question again going forward will come if he's not careful. I don't know, because I know that politically they're going to show him
interested in his successor.
I'm coming. So in Oyo,
yes, I
hope that there are no cracks in his political structure in Oyo State. And when we say they're going to dig into his political structure,
they will dig in deep.
We are talking about digging into it using federal might. I hope that as he was having that interview yesterday, to let it out completely.
To tell him there will be consequences.
Before he did it yesterday, and before he said what he said yesterday, he was ready
for the consequences,
for the battle. Now, on the issue of Wike offering himself as the PDP spoiler to help the ambition of Mr. President in 2027. Well, that does not come to anybody as it has been years from Wike. We all know that, look, again, the fact that you even come out publicly to say, look, I'm supporting the president in 2027 against the interest of your party is in fact, there's nothing to even argue about what Seyi Makinde has said.
Because he's been living that,
his governor too, his boy, political boy, has defected. His House of Assembly members loyal to him has defected.
Wike's deputy governor.
Wike's mission is to hold the PDP down, to help the ambition of Mr. President. Again, there's a breaking news that he will be having a media party. I'm sure Monday. He had made $1 million as far back as 1990. I've seen some, they went to dig out one of his picture, and what they are trying to do is to mock him.
Look at who has $1 million. That's what they were saying.
So, I don't know what Dangote wears anyways, compared to people who don't have 1/10 of what Dangote has, and the way they just go very flamboyant. Dangote is a very who he wore. You're looking at the suits. You remember that was the time he even said that, look, I don't remember when I had $10,000. Yes. I had to tell my bank manager to
withdraw.
To withdraw, So
he said he took the money home and he told himself that, wow, I'm this rich.
So if Seyi Makinde they put on the neck of these young people, this gold chain, this big one.
Bling.
No, there's a name they call it, Kuban or what they call it. So that was what
side forward. It's very interesting how the boys of Southwest politics, all of a sudden, they've demonized him in the last 24 hours.
They are deceiving themselves.
They said it was because his ministerial nominee did not get the appointment, this and that.
Ministerial nominee.
But he says something that is also very important in the second soundbite that we played. When they asked him, that does he have the
That's where I'm qualified,
going to. And he also made a reference to the president. He said the man there now was also a two-term governor. That's the template to which he became. But our transition to this democracy right now, whether as a pretender or as a genuine person, President Bola Ahmed was the forefront of that conversation. It's the largest economy in Nigeria, one of the largest on the continent of Africa. How do you compare that quick response of Seyi Makinde saying that the president became president because he was two-term governor? I'm also
speak for him or say whether that was a response I was expecting. Because there are more to what he has said than just it being is qualified or overqualified, and the fact that look up. That's how his political journey started. Again, I think that we are seeing a Seyi Makinde who have people who teleguide them. But if there's one governor who defeated, an incumbent,
and literally just flattened the political structure.
When I say incumbent, the party of the incumbent, and then has been able to build his own political structure, you have to give it to Seyi Makinde. And like I said, even with elections, he's done very well.
He cleared all the local government, even the local government that have APC senators. He cleared everything.
They all do that in the different states, The only having ambition, I think he also said it in that interview that look, if Wike has decided that he's going to support the president in 2027, I also have a right to support whoever I want to support. And if I decide to throw myself up, why not? I'm qualified and even overqualified, because if it's about being a governor, I'm going to be completing my second term. Even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that gave him political leverage over the years, was that look, it was a truth, going forward. But again, if it is true to put himself up to be president at this time, we need to ask ourselves. Because again, one thing you have to give to timing. There were times that people had thought that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was going to put himself up for president. He never did. So he kept watching, pushing up his political machinery. Remember, before he now eventually brought himself up for the presidency, you understand the factor of timing I'm talking about. So, somebody from the south.
But the zoning of his party agrees to the southern agenda.
You see, they can zone whatever they want to zone. Again, we have to look at the bigger picture, because the party cannot invite that look. When Nigerians even buy the decision of their party to this zoning to the south, as we speak, there are still northerners who think, if it's about the south, then let's allow the southern man finish his 8 years now. Because if you bring somebody from the north who are saying that, if it's about zoning from south to the
then
north,
let this one
finish. Because if somebody comes from the south again,
he
now,
will most likely also want to do another
8 years. And so why don't we just wait? Let's so
that we start our own 8 years too.
So that kind of conversation, to what extent is Governor Seyi Makinde looking at that part of the conversation from some political elites in the north who are pushing that agenda? The second one, would he be as rugged? Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not achieve the presidency, did not eventually become president because it was easy for him to become president. We knew. I'm saying this because again we need to know. Because the answer to whether he's going to run in 2027 or no to that question, but somehow he was able to give us a hint to whether it's going to happen or not. But does he have the resources? Has he built enough political alliances?
Does he have that national acceptance?
That's to hold on when they come after him, when they come for him. Would he be ready and strong enough to face the battle?
Because the battle goes.
He has formed enough alliances. We'll say it's not impossible. But if he is not going to run in 2027 and his interest, then my mind tells me that it might not be through the PDP. Because if you look at it now, with what INEC has said and what we have, the apex court would have a final say. How fast, how soon? You can see that as it stands, it appears the party may not be in the standing to present candidates.
Because I saw the certificate presentation actually presented that certificate and said this certificate was duly signed.
The court to
so
decide.
That candidate does not even know his fate.
Because as it stands, if INEC recognizes any of the candidates of the PDP in Osun and Ekiti, they will be working against what they have said.
Exactly.
As to not recognizing any of the ESCOs. So if they are not careful in Ekiti and Osun PDP, and that was why Jᴏɪᴜ quickly
went to accord.
Of the PDP, and when it comes to court matters,
that's where I'm going to side forward. For every democracy to thrive, every arm of government must work together.
Yes.
Not depending on each other, but they must work together. The legislative seem to have been subservient. Whether the opposition or not, everybody sang on your mandate, we shall stand.
Some of them were murmuring.
Affection on one thing, and that was what you just said now. That they don't know which of the faction of the party will be recognized. But if at flown now, we don't know which of the faction the court is going to.
And it's so dangerous to.
The governor of Akwa Ibom State was very clear. Pastor Moeno said, I cannot run. Then the court will say the wrong person signed your form.
And that's the end of everything.
The fact that we don't even trust the judiciary enough. When I say we, I'm not saying we on this job. I'm talking about Nigeria. To uphold the issues as regards the legitimacy of which of the candidates. On Friday, the former deputy speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly
nullified their election
because the faction that signed their nomination form was not the record.
If their case are going to the Supreme Court,
they probably would have won.
It would have still been because the Supreme Court eventually.
So he wants to give us. But do you feel there's a deep level of mystery?
You were here when Senator Adamu Bokachua
said his wife.
That's enough.
Is the greatest indictment.
He said it.
So his wife had helped a lot of his colleagues.
When his wife was the president of the appeal, I said, I helped a lot of you. I infringed.
I've never seen a man die.
The president said, oh God, where you go?
Where are you going to?
State matter is one of them, whether we like it or not. In Kano, we saw judgment, CTC different. We've seen all manner of things. So you can't blame Nigeria. Trust of Nigerians for the judiciary. They have denied it. They just shut him down to say, oh God.
Deny it now.
And political party. If the job given to ᴏᴜᴜ is to hold the party down, he has done a brilliant job. How Sheyima?
If you add the two senators that just joined from Rivers to the senators that have left the PDP in 2025 alone now, the PDP from Rivers now, that means 38 reps members have left the PDP in 2025 alone.
Okay, let us look at 2023 at the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly. As at that time, APC had 59 to SDP 2, YPP 1. As we speak, as at December 20, that was the last update.
You will still add these two or two.
So when you add these two, it will be 80.
Yes, because so APC have the absolute majority now.
So as we speak now,
Rivers have joined on Monday.
On Monday. So if you add that one to it, you have 80 now.
So now, if there's anything that needs open voting in the House, there's nothing like
no.
Because there's absolute majority. It looks like they will still even pass more.
To also show you how bad 10th National Assembly, the APC had 162, PDP 102. As we speak now, APC 240.
Out of they have 246. So they all have the absolute majority in the National Assembly.
So look at the future of the PDP.
Let's do that in 1 minute.
Because we are not seeing a situation where the APC won these seats by getting the mandate of the people. These were people who got the mandate of the people from another party and have decided to jump ship. Story. But we're talking about people who got this mandate on another party moving into the ruling party. The reason why they are moving, we've seen. Again, a lot of them will tell you that, look, the crisis in the party. But there are parties that, because again, you need to ask yourself.
What happened to Labour Party? Labour Party have lost 24 National Assembly members in the last 1 year.
Effect, So, it's a threat to our democracy because, again, for you to have a functional, effective multi-party democracy, you've got to have a very robust National Assembly. In fact, the setting of the 10th National Assembly as at June 2023
was very robust.
If you have to negotiate with the opposition. But as it stands, they don't even need the opposition to get anything done.
That's why they call it 9 senators and 82 of them belong to one political party. When you have 360
not because the people voted,
and 262 of them belong to a political party. Even the FCT Senator Redi Kingibe, she had gone to the ADC. I don't know what PDP would, if it means they do some sober reflection. If you sit back and take stock, you would have to ask yourself, Bauchi, Adamawa, and Zamfara. Even the governor of Zamfara, Lawal. Everybody is saying that the only reason why I had not left the APC is because of Bello Matawale. So it's not even like you can even put your
being sure
of who is going to sign his form.
Not going to take
That's what everybody is holding on to, especially with this court judgment saying that, with this INEC saying that they've not recognized any of the faction, different states, primaries, House of Assembly members. the factional leadership of the party. The fact that the former governor said he was denied the presidential because he said they didn't give him.
But he said he's gone to court. He has a penny case in court. He has also said he might be leaving the PDP. So,
I think it's basically a case of you having the skill to manage power. Like they would always tell you that power was served the PDP on a platform.
Yourselves when you have no power.
A party that lost as an incumbent party at the presidential level that had never happened before in our history.
Performed badly as a ruling party. They are
and the opposition, they are not even prepared for the opposition. It's quite
so it means they are not
unfortunate.
prepared for anything.
Obviously not.
In reality, we are only talking about politics. Okay. when you see current Senate president, which political party do you see?
AP, PD, APC.
This was a man that was governor, two-term governor in the PDP.
Yes.
Today he's saying AP distinguishing ideologies. They are nothing to distinguish one party.
The APC that we have today. Yeah. Senator David Mark was in the Senate for 20 years.
That's why I'm saying that.
Out of those 20 years, he was proud.
Now somebody will call them APC governors. So they've also become progressive governors automatically.
What is Mufwan?
Let's keep deceiving ourselves.
Well, yeah, we have after this one. That means we've done 51 episodes of this show. And pick your call 0913-600-0410. We've talked about the sharing formula of 48 to 50. Wike telling the president he's going to hold the party down. Because he's also going to be completing his tenure as a two-time governor of Oyo State. So he is overqualified to be president. But of course, you can't blame him. So for someone that had managed, I remember when ᴏᴏ was sworn in, and then the Oni of Ife, his ass is white, and the Oni of Ife said, why did you come into government when you have this much money? So that's where ᴏᴏ is someone that declared, I think maybe 1 billion or something for tax. Part of that conversation for the FCT minister, but you have to wait till Monday. Okay.
Of this program, we have to say we scrutinize that and give us true analysis. Thank you. And the other guy that said just umbrella, that is just the nomenclature. They are same of the same. Whether ᴏᴏ is falling out of favor with after tax. We have not seen good governance in Oyo State. Look at all those states that is collecting allocation. Not for myself there. Nothing you can really pinpoint that it is in terms of development that has come up. So that said, much is being taken from the allocation by the federal government. They are the same. That would just help us, honestly.
Thank you very much. Please, you should leave my state out of this conversation. But please, is a member of the PDP. Said Wike's actions concurs with ᴏᴏ's pronouncement. It is just unfortunate that we have selfish people running our country. And please stop praising President Tinubu on his dirty political sagacity. What is not good is not good. Because those that are working for him in Ibadan are no longer with him. Thai currency, the staff of Mainland FM, we should stop blaming governors because this is not the first time we're having governors. We know most of them are allegedly corrupt. The major problem is Naira devaluation. President Tinubu should tell us how LCDAs in Lagos would get their own. Thank you very much. Distinguished gentlemen in the studio, James Ogbonna from Oshodi. I'm tired of politics and politicians. Things will get better in my own lifetime, even though I'm getting tired. But what is the federal government doing with their own allocation? ᴏᴏ threw jab at Wike just the same way Wike threw jab at the naval officer. I don't want to believe any politician against before the end of the year. James Ogbonna from Oshodi. We'd love to see you face to face also. Let's see how that works. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm enjoying the program here as always. Sixos from Anyonwale, a big part of us throughout the year. You've helped us to stay abreast of information, especially Okpe and Side Forward. Congratulations to your station and happy birthday to your MD. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Okpe.
You're welcome.
Well, good afternoon. Compliments.
Good afternoon, sir. Compliments.
And I also wish the MD CEO a very, doggedness and his, impartiality in, because if he's not one of the best, arguably so, but that's the way I see it. And I also want Omolara eventually die. And
sorry to hear that. National health system in Nigeria.
You will not just have
Ruth Omolara will be alive today.
Exactly.
What else?
Times
we say these things. Anyways.
Yes. I'm hearing you, Fuad.
No, just go on, Pastor Ambrose.
So, you see, the market, these are the things we look at. Not that he has paid 1 billion naira as tax. what development has he brought to Oyo State since he became the governor? So I want to align with the first caller. The governor who is also talking. What has he done? The local government chairman, what have they done with their allocation? They do all these things. They just come. They did not Makinde. Was he not at? Is it Wike at Makinde's birthday? Or
It was Makinde, yeah, on Sunday at his Thanksgiving.
So what are we talking about? Then somebody will now call and begin to abuse me for talking the
Pastor Ambrose, thank God my Senate is doing well. Natasha Akpoti, why the Ododo governor is doing as usual? Well, Ododo governor came out day before yesterday to openly admit that he has a cabal. Have you joined us? Compliment of the season. Welcome to
Hello, I see you. What should they drink? I will just give you one bottle because you like say my mind they talk a bit from. That's true. If there is exactly what my station that there's now, I tell you the truth of the matter. All these APC governors, they are not seeing it easy. They are not seeing it easy. Then let me tell you this thing: any 70,000 naira before Tinubu enter, if you enter with now, it's nothing to write home about.
Sure.
So whether you pass money to the governor, they are not using it for anything. What are you using your own for? Using our money. What are we talking? So all the governor, how many of them they chop how many million?
Thank you, Mr. Lucky. We have to let you go. Atonaka says the absolute truth about Governor Shemakine to assist Governor Makine in 2019. Governor Shemakine's hold on your political terrain state will be dicey now till after 2027 to whoever gets the control. D Alpha say, well done, my people. Merry Christmas. And from the analysis of the sharing formula, there's a need for everyone to give report of how the funds released from the federal government is being spent. Oble says, that's an interesting name, by the way. Good job, Mr. Okpeyemi. Nigerians need to redirect their attention to their governors and leave the president alone for a moment. Side far, we need to leave. We can't pick calls anymore, but we've got loads of them. It's been a big year on the show, and the fact that we've had people taking session on the show. We look at how significant 2025 has been for us as Nigerians, and of course, in respect to evaluating some of the key decisions of. I'm sorry, Prince Wise, we can't pick calls anymore. We need to go. Join Sage Babalola by 4 p.m. today on GSB for the Wednesday edition of The Boss. It's a request Wednesday, so you have the chance to call in and request. I would also come back to take you through the midweek edition of Sports Quiz. The Super Eagles of Nigeria opened their AFCON 2025 competition with a slim 2-1 victory against the Titan. We'll be back tomorrow.